I blame the guy that has been the one constant with that organization over the past 30 years. The entire time the Cowboys have missed the NFC Championship game, you want to know who has been the general manager of that football team? It's been Jerry Jones. Has the head coach always been Mike McCarthy or Jason Garrett or Bill Parcells or Wade Phillips? No. Has the quarterback always been Dak Prescott or Tony Romo? No. Has the best defensive player always been Micah Parsons or DeMarcus Ware? No. Has the wide receiver always been Des Bryant or CeeDee Lamb? No. But who's been the general manager in the entire time? Jerry Jones. Let's start off in Dallas with the Micah Parsons situation. Again, I'm getting tired of talking about this. I'm going to be honest with you because we all know how this is going to end up. We all know how this story ends with Micah Parsons and the Dallas Cowboys. Micah Parsons is going to be the highest paid player in the NFL in the next 2 weeks, max, right? Like that's how this is going to work. But what's so funny is that, like, again, Jerry Jones is stringing people along. This guy is like amazing at marketing and creating this soap opera that he wants to create with the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, he's not great at winning anything because over the past 30 years, we know, what that organization has done, but he does a great job with creating a soap opera because he's got me hooked and he's got a lot of other people hooked. Now, here's the thing. Yeah, now people are talking about, hey, Micah Parsons, he could go to the Packers. It's not happening. Micah Parsons is not getting traded from this team. Micah Parsons doesn't even want to be traded from the Dallas Cowboys. Let's be honest. All right. Because if Micah Parsons really wanted to be traded from the Dallas Cowboys, he would not be showing up on the sidelines for preseason games. He wouldn't be at practice. He would have left Oxnard and went back to Dallas. And that's how he would have handled this if he actually wanted to be traded. But he does not want to be traded. He wants to stay with the team. But I understand where Micah Parsons is coming from with his frustration. Look, I get it. There are a lot of times where players in the NFL have way too much power. Just in sports in general, they feel like they have way more power than they actually do, right? NBA especially. Oh my God. But the Cowboys have leverage in this situation. He's under contract for this upcoming year. They can franchise tag him 2 more times. This is not the Dak Prescott situation where Dak Prescott was a free agent at the end of last season. So the Cowboys had to make a move there, right? It's not the case with Micah Parsons. They still have 3 years of team control over him. And that's where I think the Cowboys are negotiating from. Well, they're not even negotiating. That's the craziest part about it. But when they eventually do negotiate, they do have a position of power there. But my thing is this. The question I ask is this, because there's so many questions that I have about this whole situation. Are the Cowboys delaying negotiations because they understand what's going to end up being the case? They understand the terms, they understand the length, they understand the money that he's going to get paid. Is that what's going on here? Because I have to think that is the case, right? Because that's the only reason why this is happening, why they're not even negotiating, because they probably know there's not that much room for negotiation. It's just so strange. It's so odd. I don't think I've seen anything like it in a long time. I mean, a player that it's extremely obvious that you pay this guy like immediately. It's very strange to me. Right now, here's the thing. I do think that, some people in the media, some people that are friends with these agents, because there are insiders that are friends with agents, they'll say the way you build a team is that, you pay your players early, you pay your players a bunch of money, and you'll build a great football team. That is not necessarily the case for most instances. I'm going to be honest with you, but a guy like Micah Parsons, like, I understand why they would have waited on a guy like Trayvon Diggs, right? Even though they didn't, they actually signed. Trayvon Diggs is a guy that you actually wait out, to be honest with you. Like, the way they handled Trayvon Diggs is the way they should have handled, or the way that they handled that situation with Trayvon Diggs, where they just paid him right off the bat. They should have did that with Micah Parsons. And what they're doing with Micah Parsons, they should have done that with Trayvon Diggs. That's what they should have done, right? But Trayvon Diggs took a team-friendly contract. But like Trayvon Diggs is a guy that you wait till the fourth season to extend, right? But when you have special players, when you have, guys like Micah Parsons, guys like CeeDee Lamb, guys like, Myles Garrett, obviously he's been off his rookie deal for a long time. I'm trying to think of other players that you could like classify that. Pat Surtain, right? When you have guys like that after their third year, just sign them. Like those type of players, those elite type of players, that's what that's meant for. Like I think the Eagles just re-signed Cam Jurgens. Like that to me is a guy that you wait out, right? Like you kind of wait a guy like that out. He's not like an elite player. He's like a solid player. But you know what I mean? Like that to me is how I think that teams should go about this. But a guy like Micah Parsons, boom, like easy. You know the terms, you know the length, you know the money that you're going to pay him. Sign him. And I don't understand what's going on here. I really don't. And I understand the frustration from Micah Parsons and his side of this, his team with this negotiation. I understand the frustration because if you're Micah Parsons, he is on lists. Micah Parsons is on lists with Reggie White, with Lawrence Taylor for certain accomplishments that he has achieved throughout his career. Micah Parsons has 50 plus sacks in his first 4 seasons. He's been a first team All-Pro 3 times in his career. This guy has been one of the best defensive players in football, if not the best defensive player in football. What else does he need to show the Cowboys to say, hey, I deserve to be paid? He shouldn't have to show them anything from this point, because he's already showed you. Like he should have been paid, I think 15 months ago. That's the way that should have been handled. Now, I get it. The Cowboys, I think that they're moving a little differently and not in a good way. After that whole Green Bay loss, I think the way, they talk about these players and the way they, are holding off these negotiations, I think a lot of that changed after the Green Bay loss. I think that they've been more hesitant to pay players. And I mean, I personally don't get it. And here's my thing. This is how I'm going to close out the segment here. Everybody knows that Jerry Jones is not serious about winning. You have all these people go on First Take. Yeah, I saw Emmanuel Akko last week on the red carpet for the Netflix premiere talk about, the red carpet, this is why the Cowboys aren't great. We have all these things, all these people talk about Jerry Jones and how he's not serious about winning. So here's my question to people. Why in the world are you understanding that Jerry Jones is not serious about winning? And then you look at a guy like Dak Prescott and you say, oh, he's not a top 10 quarterback. He's not this, he's not that, because he doesn't win. But then you, in the same breath, say that Jerry Jones isn't serious about winning. I don't understand that. Please make that make sense to me, because it doesn't, right? That's why when I talk about Dak Prescott elevating this organization, it's because he has a general manager who has been there for the past 30 years. He's the longest tenured general manager in football, and they haven't been to the NFC Championship game in 30 years. If there was a general manager in football that went 10 years without making the conference championship game, they'd get fired. But because it's Jerry Jones and he owns the team, he continues to be the general manager. So when we look at these players, we look at Dak Prescott, we look at Micah Parsons, we look at CeeDee Lamb, I'm not blaming them for the shortcomings of the Dallas Cowboys. You want to know why? Because I didn't blame Romo, I didn't blame Dez, I didn't blame DeMarcus Ware, I didn't blame any of these guys. I blame the guy that has been the one constant with that organization over the past 30 years. The entire time the Cowboys have missed the NFC Championship game, you want to know who has been the general manager of that football team? It's been Jerry Jones. Has the head coach always been Mike McCarthy or Jason Garrett or Bill Parcells or Wade Phillips? No. Has the quarterback always been Dak Prescott or Tony Romo? No. Has the best defensive player always been Micah Parsons or DeMarcus Ware? No. Has the wide receiver always been Dez Bryant or CeeDee Lamb? No. But who's been the general manager in the entire time? Jerry Jones. Open your freaking eyes and understand what the problem is with that organization. And here's my thing. I don't take the side of, because this is my big problem. Oh, I hear this from people. Jerry Jones is bad. Okay, I agree. Dak Prescott's bad. Well, I don't really understand. Micah Parsons is overrated. What? CeeDee Lamb, he's not a top 5 receiver. Huh? So the general manager is bad, but these guys who have clearly been elevating the organization to the point where they're winning 12 games in back-to-back years, they're overrated and they're not that good. I don't understand. You got to pick a struggle here because I think there's a lot of inconsistency with some of the things that people say about that football team. That's besides the point.